and I seek blessings from Sri Jagadguru Deshikendra Mahaswamiji as I am working in JSS Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Madhava Digave sir, the HOD of Kai Chikitsa, and Fatima Madam, the principal, for giving me an opportunity to share my clinical experience in this forum. Moving on to the topic directly, I have taken up a bit variation from the regular topic of Pakshagata so that you can have some more inputs from me today, even because you have heard so many guest lectures series about the Pakshagata. The word Pakshagata or the Ekanga Roga and Sarvanga Roga, as explained by Vagbhata, is Kritsno Ardhakayastasya Syat Akarmanyo Vichetanam Ekanga Rogam Tam Kechit Tanne Pakshavadam Viduhu. That is, the paralysis of half side of the body is Akarmanyata, is called as Ekanga Roga or the Pakshagata. The same pathology, Tadvat, the same pathology, if it happens to be in Krishna, Krishna means Sarva Sharira or Sarva Kaya Ashritayanele, all over the body, then it is called as Sarvanga Roga. Pooja, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Yeah. So, the half-sided paralysis is called as Ekangaroksha Pakshavadha or Pakshagata, that is the hemiplegia, and the paralysis of all the four limbs, that is tetraplegia or quadriplegia, in this context that is Tadvat, it is called as the Sarvanga Roga. So now moving into the etiological and pathological diagnosis of the illness. Here, this disease particularly happens due to the injury or the damage to the brain and the spinal cord. So pathology may be vascular origin, may be a vascular insult in the form of injury, ischemia, or the infarction. Injury, ischemia are reversible vascular insult, whereas infarction is a irreversible vascular insult. And it can be a hemorrhage. And external trauma can also produce the neurological deficits and infections, the brain infections in the form of cranial abscess or the neoplasms or the tumors or tuberculoma can also produce the pressure effects producing the hemiplegia or the Pakshagata. Charaka, he has explained the Abhigata, the external injury. Like he says, Gaja Ushtra Ashwa Shigra Yanapatam Sanat, falling or the road accidents. So all these can produce the injuries and the Pakshagata. Then one more word, Marmaghata. Marmaghata, it is not that it should be from the external injury. Marmaghata may be a Doshaja Marmabhigata. Then the Rogati Karshanat, I have seen a patient having the HIV infection and lost too much of kgs and become thin and later developed because of the compromised immunity develops tuberculosis and he has ended up with Pakshagata. The Rogati Karshana, Dhatukshaya, Vata Vriddhi causing the Pakshagata. Then asrik sravanadati. See, asrik sravana ati. So excessive loss of blood from the body. So this should never be confused with the intracranial hemorrhage. It is an loss litters together so that the patient will have the hypovolemia and it can even rasa raktadi dhatukshaya producing the pakshagata. See, you have in this forum, you have heard so many speakers regarding analyzing the concept of the pathology of the pakshagata. That is, vayuhu dhatukshayat kopo margasya avaranena cha. Marga, that is obstruction. Avritya, avaruddha. So avarana or the avarodha to the vata marga. So specifically can produce the pakshagata or dhatukshaya, as I have already explained, can lead to pakshagata. So here the margavarana may be due to the thrombosis or the embolism. So here in this, the patient will have sudden and insidious onset of the hemiplegia, maybe with or history of TIA or the gradual evolution of the stroke. Or it can be embolic with a sudden completed stroke, may be associated with the cardiac illness. The patient's consciousness may be altered here in this case. Then the one more cause is a hemorrhage, wherein it will have a catastrophic concept with a sudden, unexpected, sudden, altered with highly altered consciousness, is usually associated with undetected or uncontrolled hypertension, and patient's clinical presentation will associate with the headache, vomiting, and seizures. So he says in hemorrhagic condition, in the Sushruta, he says, Yada achetanam bhavati, where the patient becomes achetana or unconscious, tada asun pranan parityajati. The patient may lose the life or he may end up with the death. So in this context, whether it is dhatukshayajanya pakshagata or margavarana pakshagata, so here it is associated with the involvement of the sira, snayu. See, all are snayugata vatas. Ekanga roga, pakshagata, akshepakasi, they are all snayugate anile. So here in Sushruta he explains the involvement of the dhamani. Adhogamaha sa triyagga dhamani urdhvadehaga yada prakupito attattam matarishva prapadyate. Dhamani, the structure, involved structure as the artery or the vascular structure, so which explains the vascular insult in the brain causing damage and developing the pakshagata or the sarvangavata. Now coming into the first, we have discussed etiological diagnosis. The second one is pathological diagnosis. Then we will move on to a clinical diagnosis. So by looking into the patient, it is evident the patient may be vichetana, that is achetanam, alpachetanam va, that is level of consciousness may be altered, the semi-conscious, the stuporous, delirious, semi-conscious, unconscious, the degrees of the altered consciousness may be seen. Then akarmanyata, that is loss of motor ability, hatvaikam, marutam, paksham, dakshinam, vamamevama, either on the right or left side the patient will have akarmanyata. Prujam toda shulakrit, the painful, it can be painful even, the muscular pain may be seen. Padam sankochetekam hastam va, that is the contraction, the rigidities, the spasticity which is seen in the UMN lesion is the explained like sankochayatekam hastam va, so there will be spasticity. Vakstambham, that is the varieties of the speech defects. Patient may present with the aphasia, dysphasia, or the dysarthria, anarthria. So many Shakoto speech and varieties of the speech defects have been explained. Sandibandhan Vimokshayan, that is, the disuse atrophy can cause these inabilities. While explaining the prognosis, he says, Shuddham Vatahatam Paksham Kritra Sadhyatamam Viduhu Sadhyam Anyena Samsrishtam Asadhyam Kshayahetukam. So, if it associates with Pitta and Kapha, he considers it to be Sadhya and Kshayahetu. For a long term, the Dhatu Kshaya leading to Vata Vriddhi and Pakshagata, where this Kshayahetuka has been explained in two ways. One is Balavat Vigrahadi Dhatu Kshaya, a chronic depletion of the dhatus resulting in Vata Vriddhi causing Dhatu Kshaya and Pakshagata. And another one is Shonita Srutikrita Dhatu Kshaya, excessive loss of blood and resulting in a Dhatu Kshaya, Vata Vriddhi and Pakshagata. They are considered to be the Asadhya condition. So now it is a anatomical diagnosis of a neurological presentation. So how a Ekanga Roga or Pakshagata, how you have to understand. Says in the case of the UMN hemiplegia, that is spastic hemiplegia, with ipsilateral cranial nerve palsy, the lesions will be in the brain. Whereas UMN hemiplegia with contralateral cranial nerve palsy, the lesions will be in the brain stem. So here he says contralateral. गृहीत्वार्धं तनोर्वायोः स्थिराः स्नायोर्विशोष्य च पक्षम् अन्यतरं हन्ति. The contralateral, the loss of motor weakness. So motor weakness or the loss of muscle power can be seen. That is the hemiplegia with a contralateral in case of the damage. The hemiplegia can present with or without involvement of the cranial nerves. This has been beautifully explained by the Charaka. He says, the ardhe tasmin mukhardeva kevale tadarditam, whether simply plain the ardita, the facial involvement, the cranial nerve involvement itself is called as ardita, or a patient of Pakshagata may be associated with cranial nerve palsies. So with or without cranial nerve involvement. He says, Ardito Vegitaya, Ardita is episodic and recovers completely, whereas Na Sarvakalam Bhavati, whereas Ardhangastu Sarvakalam Vyapya Bhavati. If it is a Pakshagata, the neurological deficit is a long-standing one. So this whole reference explains the involvement of the cranial nerves in different cranial nerves. Say for example, the Gandha Ajnanam, that may be due to the involvement of the olfactory nerves. The optic nerve, oculomotor, the trochlear, abducent. So there can be the different abnormality of the netrata. Netra Vaikrityam can be seen. So the pain in the Shanka, Shravana, Hanu, in all these it may be involvement of the trigeminal nerve. Whereas Vakri Karoti Vaktrardham, the Vakrata of half of the face, Nasa, Bru, Lalata, Iksha, Hanustata, in all these areas. Or else Bhojanam Vakram Vrijatyasye, the Vakra Vrijati, the or Nishtivaha Parshvatoyayat. See, all these will explain the involvement of the facial nerve. Whereas Bhadyate Shravano, that is the Shravana or the hearing, so can be impaired with the involvement of the vestibulocochlear nerve. Likewise, the individual involvement of the nerves have been explained in the context of the clinical feature, cluster of clinical features of the Ardita. In the end, he says, Ardito Vegitayana Sarvakalam Bhavati, Ardhangastu Sarvakalam Vyapya Bhavati. The neurological deficit of Ardita, only involvement of the face recovers completely, whereas that of Pakshagata, the neurological deficit, is a long-standing one. So now we will discuss the involvement. If the lesion is present in the internal capsule, then it will be a presentation of contralateral hemiplegia. If it is in the midbrain, so there will be ipsilateral third and fourth nerve cranial palsy with contralateral hemiplegia. And it is a pontine. So ipsilateral fifth and sixth cranial nerve palsy with a contralateral hemiplegia. And it is still lower down in the brain stem. So there will be ipsilateral 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th cranial nerve palsy with a contralateral hemiplegia will be seen. Here, the alteration in the consciousness and higher mental function depends upon the site and nature of the lesion. So where exactly? So if this is a presentation, you say this anatomical part has got lesion. So likewise, you can have anatomical the diagnosis of a neurological condition or the presentation. So now moving into the Sarvanga Roga, from the Pakshagata to the Sarvanga Roga. As I have already told, the same process, if it's seen, Akarmanyata is seen all over, that is all the four limbs, the condition is called as Sarvanga Roga. See, whenever a patient presents with the loss or the reduced muscle power in four limbs, so then that Akarmanyata or Karmakshaya, to explain, the lesion may be anywhere in the neuroaxis. You have to interpret where exactly the lesion is depending upon the nature of the presentation of the patient. So it can be a lesion of brain, brainstem, spinal cord, anterior horn cells, the root, plexus, peripheral nerves, or neuromuscular junctions or the muscles. Anywhere in this neuroaxis, the pathology may be seen. But if the patient lesion, the disease lesion, whether it is a tumor, a vascular insult, if it is present in the brain, brainstem, and spinal cord, so the upper, the cervical spinal cord, then patient will have the UMN, the presentation of the paralysis. Whereas if the motor weakness is of lower motor neuron type, then the lesion will be in the root, the plexus, peripheral nerves, neuromuscular junctions, and the muscles. So in this I have left anterior horn cells. Why? Because if that is involved, there can be a mixed presentation. So there can be both UMN and LMN presentation can be seen in the involvement of the anterior horn cells. So now moving on to the Sarvanga Roga. So if a patient presents with quadriparesis or quadriplegia, then what are all the possibilities of, or what are all the sites of the lesions? You can understand. Here, a patient of quadriplegia or quadriparesis may present with spastic weakness of all the four limbs. Say all four limbs, upper limbs, lower limbs, every limb will become spastic or rigid. That may be a one presentation. And the another presentation is all the four limbs may be flaccid or flaccidity is seen. The muscle, the tone is absolutely reduced, flaccid. Lower limbs are spastic. So this may be the clinical presentation of a patient with quadriplegia or quadriparesis. Then you have to see, so what is the site of the lesion in the nervous system. So all the four limbs may be spastic, all four limbs may be flaccid, the upper limbs flaccid and lower limbs spastic. So these three are the clinical presentation of the patient with quadriparesis or quadriplegia. So then we will move on to the quadriplegia or quadriparesis of all four limbs which are spastic. When you examine the patient, there is a rigidity, hyperreflexia, seen in any patient, then you have to infer that this may be due to the bilateral damage to the upper motor neuron. So we have studied unilateral damage, the vascular insult, something which causes contralateral paralysis and all. So here it may be a bilateral damage to the upper motor neuron, either in the internal capsule or in the brain stem like the parasagittal lesions, that is on the both sides. So multiple strokes, or you have seen patients of cerebral palsy even in the children. So cerebral palsy, all the four limbs will be spastic. You call spastic quadriplegia. So that is produced due to the perinatal, prenatal, or even a fetal stroke. So the thrombus or embolus from the placenta can produce fetal stroke, or it can be a maternal infections. So the child will suffer from the cerebral palsy. All the four limbs are spastic. So if it is about the involvement of the brain, if you come down to the spinal cord, the upper cervical portion of the spinal cord up to C5 and C6 level, specifically C1, C2, C3, C4. So above C5 and C6, any lesions in the cervical spinal cord, so deep lesions, so that will produce a quadriplegia of the spastic weakness of all the four limbs. See, wherever is a lesion, there occurs the disease, and that will produce a specific clinical presentation. So Charaka, he says, Hetusthana Visheshacha Bhavet Roga Visheshakrit. So wherever is a het, whatever is a Hetu and whatever is a Sthana, the site, Visheshat, specific, so that produces a different clinical presentation of the patient. So dehe srotamsi riktani purayitva anilovali karoti vividhan vyadhin sarvanga ekanga shamstan. So wherever is a kavai gunyata, wherever is a rikta srotas, so that becomes a nidus, that becomes a site for aggravation of the vata, producing the diseases, either ekanga roga or the sarvanga roga. So next is the upper limbs flaccid and lower limbs spastic. So this is very peculiar. So if you examine the patient, the upper limbs will be flaccid. There is either areflexia, the flaccidity will be seen. Whereas if you examine the same patient, the lower limbs will be very rigid, the spastic. So that is because the lesion is at cervical spine at the level of C5, C6 or C6, C7. Why? Because the anterior horn cells are involved, which gives lower motor neurons to the upper limbs. So upper limbs will become flaccid. As the spine continues, the corticospinal tract, so they end up at L1 level. So at the cervical level, C5, C6, the deep involvement of the corticospinal tracts produce lower limb spastic paralysis, and anterior horn cells involvement produces upper limb the flaccidity. So it is a unique presentation. Specifically says the involvement is in the C5, C6 or C6, C7 level. So then we will move on to one more presentation of quadriplegia, wherein all the four limbs are LMN. LMN is all the four limbs are, there is a flaccid weakness. Say for example, patient may come with flaccid four limbs in case of the Guillain-Barré syndrome or the CIDP, that is chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathies. So wherein all the four limbs will become flaccid. The involvement is low down in the root, the peripheral nerves. So not, see, this is what is the presentation known as the flaccid the quadriplegia. So all these, Hetusthana Vishesha Bhavet, Roga Visheshakrit, depending upon the site of the lesion, the presentation of the neurological deficit in Pakshagata and Sarvangavata varies. So this is a brief about the understanding. See, there are many conditions, there are many diseases wherein weakness are seen, but only if the other, that is like neuromuscular junction involvement, the muscle involvement, any other atrophy, dystrophy, in such conditions, it is not called as quadriplegia or quadriparesis, it's called as a weakness, generalized weakness. That term is used. But this is in specific to the presentation of the patient. So next is a plan of treatment. So plan of treatment for the patients of Ekangavata, Ekanga Roga or Sarvanga Roga depends upon the avastha. That is acute, whether the disease, the patient has come in an acute stage with a loss of or altered consciousness, with the involvement of the pitta, or either it is a subacute, that is after some months the patient has come for the treatment, or after some months or years the patient has come for the neurological deficit. The treatment varies. And it also depends upon the samsrishta dosha, whether it is hemorrhagic or whether it is thrombotic, with the involvement of the pitta or the kapha. Though it is pittaja, so after that, once the pitta subsides, she says, samsrishte kapapittabhyam pittamadav vinirjayet. After the pittamadav vinirjayet, so once the pitta stage passes off, or if it is a thrombotic stage from the beginning, you have to see whether the patient is in the stage of Sama or Nirama, the treatment has to be adopted. So once that Samsrishta dosha chikitsa, Avarana chikitsa or Amanirama stage treatment is over, then we have to take up the Kevala Vata chikitsa, and then comes the Rasayana chikitsa. So in this order, in this way, you have to choose a treatment for the patients of Ekanga Vata and the Sarvanga Vata. So this reference will explain the different treatment modalities which can be adopted in the treatment. It says, Akshepaka vidhanena upacharayet. Akshepaka vidhanena. So if a patient presents with the hemorrhagic stroke, with a loss of consciousness, with a headache, seizures, etc., so then the treatment will be similar to the Akshepaka vidhana. So there are other modalities of treatment like Mastishkya, Shirobasti, Abhyanga, Upanaha, Astapana, Anuvasana Basti, so many Virechana, that is Swedanam, Sneha Sanyuktam, so Pakshagate, Virechanam. So these are all the different treatment modalities. So you have to choose which treatment for which particular condition, and if you apply it properly, then you can have a maximum benefit in the treatment to the patient. See, I would like to share some of my clinical experience regarding the treatment of Ekanga Roga and the Sarvanga Roga. So this is a patient of aged about 36 years when one of my student was working on the Pakshagata for the dissertation. The patient was discharged from the modern hospital against the medical advice for asking for the treatment, Ayurvedic treatment for this condition. So he was with a little altered consciousness. I won't say it is unconscious. The patient was stuporous. So we have treated him with the Pittahara line of treatment, and within 24 hours, he regained the absolute consciousness, and after 3 to 4 days, he started to sitting, walking with the support and all. See here, the altered consciousness, stuporous, he says, Murcha Pittatama Prayaha, Rajaha Pitta Anilat Brahmaha, Tamo Mata Kapastandra, Nidra Sleshma Tamo Bhava. It is tamas and pitta makes the patient to lose the consciousness. Murcha, he will be with all the pranayatana, the marmas. If they involve with the samprapti, samjnavahasrotas, rasa rakta, samjnavahasrotas. So if they are involved, and tamas and pitta makes the person to lose consciousness. So pitta line of treatment was adopted in the particular patient. So I called Dr. Ravishankar Parvaje, and as per his advice, so we have given him the Dhanyaka Amalaki Hima Shirodhara and the Manjishta with the Shadadauta Gritatalam and the Nasya with the powdered Shwasa Kutar Rasa, Vacha and Maricha. And then orally we started with Rasaraja Rasa, and the patient within 24 hours that he came back from the stuporous condition to the normal consciousness. Then we started him with Dashamula Kshira Shakshara Parisheka all over the body. And after that, So we have followed the other line of treatment for the Pakshagat. So this is one more patient aged about 42 years. She is a patient of massive hemorrhage, stroke, and she was taken up for the surgery, and the vascular correction was done, and the half of the skull, the flap of the skull was removed and sutured without that she was sutured, and then after 10 days of surgery, the patient came for the treatment for the neurological deficit. She came in stretchers, so having no muscle power, 0/5, having no muscle power. So we have not taken the patient for the nasya and mastishkyas because the suture has not yet healed completely. So you can see after the 3 or 4 days, the patient started sitting. And after that, after 3 weeks, the patient started walking. So once the surgery was done and that stage of the pitta samsrishtata is over, then you have to take up the patient for the treatment for the ama or the kapha. So you have to see, to start with every illness, whether it is vata vyadhi or not, there is involvement of the agni and there is a role of ama in the illness. So for which Acharya Vagbhata says, Nite Niramatam Same Jitalangana Pachanehi Rukshaischa Alepasekadehi Kuriyat Kevalavatanut. First you have to go for Ruksha treatment, Ruksha Ushnam Bhaksha Beshajam. Even in the Kafavrata Vata he says, Ruksha Ushnam Bhaksha Beshajam. The Rukshoshna line of treatment has to be followed. So once the Ama stage passes off, then Kevala Vatanut, the Kevala Vatahara line of treatment should be followed. So after, when she has come here for the treatment, we have adopted the Agni Chikitsa Lepa all over the body and Dhanyamla Dhara. So Agni Chikitsa Lepa was done for nearly the 5 days and Dhanyamla Dhara for 5 days. So Agni Chikitsa Lepa, it contains Nirgundi, Agrimantha, Vanatulasi, Papata, Banta, all fresh and Maricha, Lavanga, Lashuna, Haridra and Sarshapa. So we don't get the Papata and Bandha in Mysore. So we have did the Agni Chikitsa Lepa only with Nirgundi or Agni Tulasi, Agni Mantha and Tulasi, and Maricha, Lavanga and Lashuna 9 in count and Haridra, Sarshapa 5 grams each. But we, as usually, the Talam is kept with the same Kalka. And 5 grams will be given orally and Sarvanga Lepa will be done with the. So we have given oral 5 grams and Sarvanga Lepa was done for the 5 days. And after that, another 5 days we gave her the Dhanya Amlaseka all over the body and she has recovered a lot. And after treating for the kapha, then a regular line of treatment for vata was followed and now she is independent in her works. So these are all the modalities of Kevala Vata Chikitsa. You can choose as per the patient's condition. The first is the Eranda Taila Virechana should be given. Eranda Taila Virechana can be given for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, so that the illness will come down, so will come under control very, very nicely. And then Mastishkya with the Taila Dhara, the Nasya to start with Anutaila Nasya, or it can be Pratimarshanasya can be continued later with Prasarinyadi or Mahamasha Taila, Abhyanga Sveda, the Shashtikashali Sveda, Sarvanga Taila Seka, and Yapana Bastis can also be given. See, in one patient we have started with the Sarvanga Tailaseka. See, the after third or fourth day of Sarvanga Tailaseka, he improved very nicely with the 3-4 days of Sarvanga Tailaseka, physical. So on the fifth day, he started complaining of severe heaviness of the body. He was telling it is like a stone, the whole body is so heavy. So whatever the result I got in 3-4 days, I could not do it on the fifth day. See, we did him the Churna Pinda Sveda, absolute dry treatment with Kolakulattadi and Trifala Churna Pinda Sveda, and that day evening only he relieved from that heaviness. See the beauty of treatment in the Ruksha Ushna and Snigdha Ushna therapies, specifically with Kevala Vata and Vata Kafaja. So after 2 days of the Churana Pinda Sveda, then we again continued with Thaila Seka. So likewise, so you have to select the treatment. And so far as Basti is concerned, so Mustadiyapana Basti, the repeated courses of Mustadiyapana Basti and the Anuvasana Basti will give the result. So this is a case of Ardita. This was also one of the student was taking the thesis work. That period, this case was treated. So the patient was given the Nasya and Kshiradhuma. And with this, the maximum, the neurological deficit over the face has come back to the normal. But what I want to tell you, the thing is, the administration of the Lashuna in the Ardita. At the Vaishadjaratnavali, it is mentioned that Rasona Kalkam Navanita Mishram Kaden Naroyo Ardita Roga Yuktaha Tasyarditam Nashayatiha Yushigram Brundam Gananamima Matarishva. That is, the Lashuna Kalka should be given with Navanita. So we give always 15 to 20 grams of Lashuna with a Navanita. So for the 10 days, 15 days, if you give, all the neurological deficit over the face will come back to normalcy. So once the normalcy is achieved, the patient will be discharged with Uttara Bhaktika Snehapana. So either Vidaryadigrita, Ashwagandhagrita will be given. In Chakradatta it is mentioned, Arditam Jayet Satpihi Pibet Uttara Bhaktikam. Why that Uttara Bhaktika Snehapana? Why? Because it is the involvement of the Vyana, Udhana and Udhana Mata in case of Ardita. So, in the treatment, in the administration of the medicine, Aushadha Sevana Kala, he has mentioned that the Sayamashasya tu Uttare Vyane Purvan, that is morning after food is for the Vyana Mata and Sayamashasya tu Uttare for the Udana Mata, after evening food, the Vaishadya, the medicine should be given. So Uttara Bhaktika Snehapana, either with the Vidaryadigrita or Ashwagandhagrita. So whatever, even if 5% of the deficit is, neurological deficit is seen, so that will be completely cleared by the Uttara Bhaktika Snehapana. This is one more case of the spastic quadriplegia. So we have discussed there can be spastic quadriplegia, flaccid quadriplegia, and a combination. So this is the case of the spastic quadriplegia. So this is because of the patient is just 21 years old and he has developed quadriplegia of spastic variety because of the lesion at the upper cervical lesion. So because of the injury, so he has developed that quadriplegia. See, I won't discuss the treatment of the whole illness here. I would like to say about the treatment of the spasticity. About the treatment of the spasticity, see, when the patient has come to us, you can see, even if he tries, so he cannot extend the lower limb. You can see that the angle is very, very acute in the knee joint. Very acute. He can't extend. So even with much efforts, he cannot extend the lower limb. The same patient, so we have adopted some treatment we will discuss. So after that, when the treatment was adopted, you can see the angle of the knee has improved. So if you ask the patient to extend the limb, he could able to extend. So 50% extension becomes possible. So how you can go for, if it is a contracture is irreversible, it's not possible. If it is a contraction, a reversible rigidity, so you can do most for the patient. See what treatment we have adopted in this patient is Erandathaila Nitya Virechana. So you can give Erandathaila Nitya Virechana in a simple case for 3 days. If not, so it can a tough spasticity, rigidity, you can give 1 month Erandathaila Nitya Virechana. Erandathaila for all Vata Vyadhis to start with. Whereas in this case, we have given the Erandathaila for long. He says, in the context of the Gridrasi treatment, he says, Gridrasyur Graha Pahaha, Graha, that is stiffness or the Graha. So that can be relieved if you give Erandathailam Masamekam Prayogoyam, even for 1 month, you can give the Erandathaila. And one more treatment what we adopted in this patient is Veshtana. Veshtana, in the treatment of the Vata Vyadhi, he has explained Veshtanam, Trasanam, Seko, Madhyam, Paishtika Gaudikam. See, Veshtana is the modern people in the physiotherapy, they go for some splints for the extension, for the rigidity. So if the splints, if it can be like Vatahara splint in the form of Veshtana, see, we can dip the cloth which is cut in a strip and dip in the thaila, and then if you keep a splint and tie the joint with that particular the strip of cloth which is dipped in the oil, then it can be a waste, and it is a persistent stretching makes the reversal of the contractions. So for which we have used Maha Kukkuta Mamsa Taila and the Masha Saindava Taila in the treatment of Vestan. So this Masha Saindava Taila can also be used for local Taila Seka, Ekanga Taila Seka, or it can even be given as a Shamana Sneha orally in all the patients of spasticity or the rigidity. And we have given Dashamula, Rasna Dashamula Gritha, Anuvasara Basti. See here in Masha Saindava Taila, he says, Tailam Sankuchite Abhyange, Masha Saindava Saditam. So in the Sankuchita state or the rigidity, Masha Saindava Taila is highly beneficial. Then the Uttara Bhaktika Snehapana, Masham Nishpadya Saindava Kalkakenacha. So Masha Saindava Taila can also be given as the Snehapana. And the one more, the drug what we regularly use for the rigidity is Vatarakshasa. See, Vatarakshasa Rasa, one of our teacher used to prescribe Vatarakshasa Rasa in patients of the rigidity, with any neurological rigidity. So here it contains Mrtasutam, Tatagandam, Kantam, Abrakam, like Patashruti he has explained Dhanurvatam, Vedana, Vatamevacha, Dhanurvata. Dhanurvata is the spasms, it is of flexor muscle spasm or extensor muscle spasm with the emprostotonus, opistotonus. So all these positions, there are spasms, the like it is a rigid. So Vata Rakshasa will be highly beneficial. So there is one more case who has got again the hemiplegia with a speech defect, So when we admitted this patient, he is aged about 59, 60 years. When we admitted this patient, he used to utter only one syllables, ka, la, like one syllables. But when we started him with the treatment, he started speaking some of the words. See, by the day of discharge, so he could able to sing a song. When he was telling Halalladaru Haku, Neeralladaru Haku Raghavendra, that song he sung in front of our PG students. So that is a speech defect. So speech defects have been explained, the Vakastamba have been explained in Pakshagata. But if you take up the Samprapti of the speech defects from different context, Sushruta, he says, Avritya Sakafo Vayuhu Damani Shabdavahini Naran Karoti Akriyakan Mukaminmina Gadgadan. That is, the Kafa is causing Avarana to the Vata. Avritya, Avarudhya Ittartha. Avritya here means Avarudhya. If Shabdavahini Damani gets Avarana by the Kafa completely, then it causes Muka. Ardha, if half, then it causes Minmina. Ishat, if it is partial, then it causes Gadgada, the speech. Having no speech, the aphasia, dysphasia, minmina, it is anunachikava, gadgada, avyaktapada venjanabhidayi, that is the staccato speech or something speech, the dysarthria, the all varieties. So you can, the speech defects can be understood. See, what we have adopted is Erenda Taila Prayoga, a very nice, so it can be given for some days, some 7 days, 10 days, then you can drastically see the improvement in the speech. Even we have given Erenda Taila Parkinson disease. So the Parkinson disease, if you start the treatment procedure with the Erenda Taila Prayoga first, the symptom to be improved is the speech. And we have given the patient the Kalyanaka Leha Churna with so in the Kalyanaka Sarpi Shalodhya, it should be mixed with the Sarpi. Pratyaham Bhakshayendraha, every day should be given. Ekavimshati Ratrena, within 21 days, Bhavet Sutadaro Naraha, the patient could be able to speak. In the Palashruti, he has exaggerated the importance of the Kalyanaka Churna in the prescription for the speech defects. He says, Megadundubi Dirgosham, Matta Kokila Nisvanaha, Jada Gadgada Mukatvam, Leha Kalyanako Jayet. So Jada Gadgada Mukatva, the Kalyanaka Leha Churna is beneficial. So he can sing, he can Megadundubi Nirgosham. See, all the, he has explained the Palashruti. So the patient was given the Kalyanaka Leha Churna with the Grita Sarpisha Bhakshayendraha Sarpi. So we have selected the patient, the Chagaladhya Grita. Chagaladhya Grita mentions Ajam Charma Vinirmuktam Tektam Shringakuradikam. Says Ardite, Karanashule, Bhadriye, Mukha Minmine, Jada Gadgade. So in all these cranial nerve involvement and even specifically the speech defects, this Chagaladhya Grita is beneficial. So if you give Kalyanaka Leha Churna with Chagaladhya Grita every day for some more days, like a month or so, then most of the, I don't say 100%, most of the speech defects can be corrected. And even we have given the some with a folklore prescription patient, they themselves have brought this Hayakshira from the Mysore racecourse, Haya, that is from the horse, Hayakshira, and some has brought the Ajakshira. So all these as a folklore prescription patient themselves have brought and has taken, and I have seen the improvement. So one patient with hemorrhagic stroke, a young adult, so he could, with taking the Ajakshira, he could able to speak. So some words, and later while discharge, he could able to read the newspaper, the sentences also. So, and one more important treatment of the is Rudraksha. You can rub the Rudraksha with the honey and can be given. It is even beneficial in speech defects produced due to the autism. So why, see here it is a Kafavrata Vata. If this Rudraksha, if you give along with Udvartana, then definitely the speech defect will be improved. So here it is a case of the, I have told, like we have seen one case of a spastic, and here it is a case of cervical myelomalacia. So where the lesion was at C5, C6 and C7. Myelomalacia, that you say osteomalacia, like softening, the softening of the spinal cord, that is myelomalacia, presenting with flaccid paralysis of the upper limb, spastic paralysis of the lower limbs. So he was absolutely done with bed sores and all, and we have started with treatment. And I want to emphasize on the effect of Lashuna in the patient in this patient. See here, Solpa Rasona Pinda we have given. Phalam Ardhapalam Chaiva Rasonasya Sukuttitam Hingu Jiraka Sindhuttaihi Savvarchara Katutre. These are the drugs. So Rasona Kalka should be mixed with these drugs. So for this, for the practical purpose, we have taken the Hingvadi Churna, Hingvashtaka Churna and the Jirakadi Churna added with the Lashuna Kalka, and it is given to the patient. He says, Yatha Agni Bhakshitam Prataha Rubhukwata Anupanataha. Yerandamula Kwata should be freshly prepared, and if you give Rasona Kalka, so Lashuna Kalka, Dine Dine Prayoktavyam Masamekam Nirantaram, continuously, Vatarogam Nihantyashu Arditam Apatantrakam Ekangam Rogine Chaiva Tata Sarvanga Rogine. So this will be highly beneficial in Sarvanga Roga. So the patient could able to sit, the patient could able to stand with the supports, as he has brought the absolutely on stretches with the bed sores. So this is one more case where the patient has presented with all four limbs of flaccidity. So we have discussed all four limbs. Spasticity, the two limbs, upper limbs, flaccid, and two lower limbs, the spasticity, and now it is a third case, just to say that this is a one more presentation of quadriplegia. All the four limbs were flaccid, no muscle tone at all to the patient. So he was a case of Guillain-Barré syndrome. So he came to our hospital. So after getting discharged from modern hospital, so he was admitted there for almost 20 days, and with no improvement, then he was brought to our hospital, and then we started him with the treatment. So after, so muscle power of all the four limbs, it is flaccid 0/5. So he could of treatment he could able to sit, and after second treatment he could able to stand, and on the third treatment he could able to walk completely. So by the end he could able to even climb the stairs. It's absolutely a flaccid paralysis of all the four limbs. So what we did here is again Eranda Taila Prayoga, and the flaccidity, first flaccidity needs the Udvartana line of treatment. Why? Because it is Medasah Pravilapanam Sthirikaramanganam Tvak Prasadakaram Sthirikarana. The flaccid becomes sthira, or tone develops by the Udvartana. So Sarvanga Udvartana we did with Triphala Churna and Kapikachu Churna. And after the Udvartana therapy is over for some 14 days, we have adopted Shashtika Shalipinda Sweda, and then Anuvasana Basti with Maha Sneha, that is all the four Snehas, and Niruha Basti with Mustadi Yapana Basti. And you can see the Mahasneha, the Parashruti, Prastahasya, Triphalaya, se Taila, Vasa, Gritha, Majja, all are together. So it is available for our prescription from Vaidyaratnam pharmacy. So Kalkam Dattva Mahasneham Sammagena Vipachitam Sira Majjastige Vate Sarvanga Ekangayostata. So it is in the Chakradatta. So we have given Majjasneha Anuvasana Basti and Mustadi Yapana Basti as Niruha. And the Kashayas, to start with, in the early stage, we gave all the Ashtavarga, the Bhadradarvadi Kashaya and all. So once the patient is back from that, the Kapha or Ama stage, then we have started him with Mashatma Guptadi Kashaya. So 50 ml every day, used to prepare 50 ml twice daily was given. So you can see the Mashatma Guptadi Kashaya. Mashatma Gupta Yerenda Vatyala Kashtatam Pibe, Hingu Saindava Sanyuktam Pakshagate Nivaranam. That is Masha Atmagupta, the fine powders are available. Eranda and Vatyalaka. Vatyalaka is Balamula. So these are coarse powders are available. So is to prepare the kashaya. Hingu Saindava Sanyuktam with a pinch of Hingu and Saindava Pakshagate Nivaranam. If you see n number of reference which are for the treatment of Ekangasas, there are many the Palashrutis, but in this reference, Pakshagate Nivaranam, the only Palashruti with the Pakshagata. So if it's a pure after adopting Pitta, Vata, Pitta, Kapahara line of treatment, when you come at the last for the Kevala Vata line of treatment, this is a choice of the Kashaya. Can be given for monoplegia, paraplegia, hemiplegia, tetraplegia. For months together it can be given and you can get the best. All neurological deficits can be cleared. So we have given him Rasaraja Rasa and these Shatavari, Ashwagandha, etc. And in between the two therapies, we have given Sahacharadi Kashaya with the Taila, the same Sahacharadi Taila in between the therapies. So you can, so once you complete the Kapha stage and then you come to the Vata stage for the treatment. So in Kapha stage, you can go for Rasayanas like Gugulu, the Shivagutika or the Shilajatu, Lashuna, Chitraka Rasayana and all. So when you come back to the Vata stage, you have a choice of Shatavari, Balamula, the Kashayas as the Balamula as the Rasayana therapy. Says Shatavari Balamulam Ardapalam Palam Va Payasa Alo Depipet Jirne Payah Sarpirodanam Nityaharaha. So एवं द्वादशरात्रम् उपयुज्य द्वादशवर्षाणि वयस्तिष्ठति दिवसशतम् उपयुज्य वर्षशतं वयस्तिष्ठति. So this is a rasayana for all Vatavyadi, Nagabala or Bala and Shatavari rasayana can be adopted in the Kalka form or in the Vriddhi. So every day increase the dosage. So likewise you can give, or even the Salvana Upanaha and Shashtikashali Annalepam or Dashamula Kshiralepa, all these are helpful in the disused atrophies. So this is, I have shared some of my clinical experience here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
At this juncture, I would like to thank the organizers of this webinar and the HOD, Dr. Madhavadi Kave sir, and your principal for giving me an opportunity to share my clinical experience in the field of treating the Ekangavad. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there are some questions in the chat box, ma'am. Shall I ask?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the first question is from Dr. Padmavati Patil. Good morning, madam. Mode of action of Agni Chikitsa Lepa.
See, Agni Chikitsa Lepa, actually, it is not a classical reference. It is from the folklore treatment for the Pakshagata. All these drugs are the Kafahara and the Nirgundi, the Vanatulasi, Srimanta, they are all the Sarshapa, Haritra, Lasina, Maricha. So they are all Kafahara and the Amahara. So Sarvadaika Ama will be there in every stage, every disease in the early stage. Even if you start from Jwara till the Vata Vyadi, there is Ama to start with in every Nija Vyadis. So Ama develops in Agantuja Vyadis. So after the vitiation of the doshas, then comes the Ama. But in all Nija Vyadis, Ama develops first. And if you treat Ama, then you can have the patient. See, all these drugs are Amahara, Kafahara in nature. In the early stage, if a patient comes chronic, after years together, this may not help. So 1 or 2 days you can give in such cases. If not, it is of no use.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is from Dr. Malleshwar Rao. Which type of Rudraksha should be used in speech disorder, ma'am?
See, Rudraksha, it depends upon the lines. So he's starting from 2 lines, 3 dhara, what you call, that is like ridges. So 2 ridges, 3, so even up to 15, 21 ridges are there. But in our garden, we have a Rudraksha tree where it has got Rudraksha of three ridges. So I have referred the Rudraksha from the article, and it is suggested that it can be used for the children's, so having reduced milestones and all. So I've started with giving Rudraksha rubbed with honey, and it works very nicely.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is from Dr. Archana CP. What is the intention of using Kapikakshu Churna for Udvartan?
See, it is a balya. It is a balya, so we have used the Kapikattu Churna along with the Triphala. The patient is, the skin is little pitta prakriti with, so we have not taken up the Kola Kulattadi such, so which can produce rashes. So we have taken up the Kapikattu with the Triphala for just Ruksha purpose. And if you add Kola Kulattadi and all, it becomes Ushna also, Ruksha Ushna therapies.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is from Dr. Piyush Gupta. When we will add Hingu and Saindhava Lavana in Manjusthadi Kashayam?
Pardon?
When we will add Hingu and Saindhava Lavana in Manjusthadi Kashayam?
So Manjishtadi Kashayam. See, Manjishtadi Kashaya is Rakta Prasadana. It is Rakta Prasadana, but we add the Mashatma Guptadi Kashaya, Hingu and Saindava. So after preparing the Kashaya, we add 1 pinch of Hingu and 1 pinch of Saindava Lavana, and we will be advised to the patient. Even one of our student got the ulnar nerve palsy, and the other patients also. So even if it is not corrected by any other modalities, even the therapies, so if you go on giving this kashaya for long, so absolutely the neurological deficit can be corrected. Okay, Hingu and Saindava are added in a pinch. So after the freshly preparing the Mashatma Guptadi Kashaya.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is from Dr. Piyush Gupta only. Treatment of hemorrhagic paralysis.
See, hemorrhagic paralysis, so it depends. See, hemorrhage paralysis, patient will have the altered consciousness. So usually with the unconscious stage, so I have not taken up any patient. So one patient, some other patients, even the other patient, very few cases I have taken up, that too in a stage of stupor or altered consciousness, not in the, that is a stage of association of the pitta, where you might have heard the lecture from the Ravi Shankar Parvati. So he is very expert in treating the hemorrhagic strokes by the Shatadauta Grita applying all over the body, and Dhanyaka Amalaki Hima Shirodhara and Manjishta with the Shatadauta Grita Talam, and all such therapies. And importantly, for the Samjna, for the Jnanavahanadis, so that, so triggering, they have given the Tikshna Nasyas. So by that, he will make the patient to regain the consciousness absolutely. So then, so that line of treatment is hemorrhage. So once that the unconscious state passes off, the patient may present with neurological deficit. So if such is the case, you can take up the treatment starting from the ama and then come to the nirama state, the Kevalapata Chikitsa, and then with the other, the Rasayanas. And one thing I would like to say here is, तस्मात् स्नेहमृदौ कोष्ठे न तिष्ठन्ति अनिलामयाः. If you go on giving sneha to the patient, then the vyadi doesn't stay in that person. So after adopting the Vatahara line of treatment, Kevala Vata line of treatment, better you always give in every patient the Snehapana, Shamana Snehapana, depending upon the condition, whether it is Shatavari Grita, Ashwagandha Grita, Kalyanaka Grita, any other Gritas, Vidaryadi Grita. So Dhanvantar Grita, if you give the patient as a Shamana Sneha, definitely it doesn't recur. It doesn't recur, or the neurological deficit will be absolutely can be cleared.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question is from Dr. Agarwal Manoj, ma'am. Infarcting CVA, how to treat?
Pardon?
Ma'am, infarcting
Yes.
CVA, how to treat? Dr. Manoj Agarwal is asking.
See, this is what I told. Say, infarction. So, usually with infarction or thrombotic or conditions, so patient usually will have a gradual onset, and rarely the consciousness is altered to start with. So, you can directly start the patients with the Kavahara, Avarana, Margavarana. So, that line of treatment can be followed. So, we first start with Agni Chikitsa Lepa externally, and then we go for Rasnadi Churna with lemon thalam for the infarction patients. Rasnadi Churna with lemon, the thalam will be kept, and then so after that Udvartana, Dhanyamla Seka, the first Kapahara line of treatment will be adopted, and then you can go for Vatara line of. The choice of Shamanas will be to start with Ashtavarga Kashaya, Dhanadanayanadi, Badradarvadi Kashaya. Such drugs are chosen, and after 2 or 3 weeks of this, the Kaphavatahara Kashayas, then we can move on to the Kevala Vatahara like the Kashaya. So for the neurological deficit, you can even go for the Brahatvata Chintamani, Ekanga Rasa, Yogendra Rasa, and even my interest is towards Chaturbhuja Rasa and Rasaraja Rasa. So these can also be given to such patients in the early stages.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is from Dr. Pavitra. How pyrexia produces Vata Vyadhi and treatment of poliomyelitis?
See, pyrexia producing Vata Vyadhi, like if you say a patient of Guillain-Barré syndrome or any infectious, the meningitis, the post-meningitis hemiplegia can also be possible. So all those conditions are the infectious condition first starting presenting with the fever and then presenting with the neurological deficit. So even poliomyelitis is infection presenting with neurological problem. So polio is again a lower motor neuron. The limb will become thin like a stick or a pencil. So atrophied. So once the acute stage passes off, you have to go for the Kevala Vata line of treatment. Rarely nowadays we get the patients of poliomyelitis for the treatment. Any old cases, so if they ask for the treatment, so in as it is too chronic, then you can go for absolute Vatahara line of treatment, which I have already mentioned. So like Shashtikashali or Shashtikashali Annalepam for the disused atrophies, the Nagabala, Bala Rasayana, so the Shatavari Rasayana, see all these can be adopted. Or you can go on directly giving the Shamana Sneha for so long, and with a gap of some more days, again start with Shamana Sneha, Asakritam, again and again, repeatedly, frequently, Sneha Svedam, Punaha Punaha, it is a treatment for the Vata.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, next question is dose of Shamana Sneha Pana.
The dose of Shamana Snehapana depends upon the Agni. So, if the patient has got good Agni, then you can directly start with the Shamana Snehapana. If not, you have to give good Deepana and Pachana to the patient. Give for some 5 days, 7 days, very good Deepana Pachana, either in the form of Lashuna, Chitraka, etc. Make the Agni good, and then you start with the Shamana Snehapana. And it also depends upon the palatability towards the sneha by the patient, and you check the palatability by giving Risiyasi Matra to start with. You start with, if it is a Taila, we don't go for the dosage as that of the Grita because palatability is very less. So you can start with 5 ml and 10 ml. And if the patient is okay with the dosage, then you can give up to 30 ml per day. So depending upon which vata is involved, you go for the Shamana Snehapana in that particular kala. Yunjar Anandamannadau. See, Anannam. So, Apana Vata Vikriti, Annado Vigune Apana, Samane Madhya Ishyate. Vyane Pratarashasya Sayamashasya to Uttare Grasa Grasantayoh. That is, if it is Apana Vata Vikriti like neurogenic bladder and all, then you can go for the Apana Vata Kala, that is before food. For Vyana Vata with all the motor debilities, so you can go for Sayam morning after the food, the Snehapana can be given. And if it is the Udana Vata Vikriti, with all the speech defects, Urasna, Nasana, Bigalam, Vak Pravritti, Pretna, Urja, Balavarana, if these are all the abnormal, then you can go for the Snehapana after the food, after the evening. So the dosage is start with Hrsiyasi and see the palatability and tolerance of the patient and then fix the dosage continuously till the Vyadi Shamana occurs. Or if the patient develops a Satmeta for the particular, the same, then you can give a gap of 15 days or 20 days and then again repeat the Shamana Sneha till you get the best result in the condition.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is from Dr. Surekha. Ma'am, can we go for Shirodhara in hemorrhagic stroke?
So you can go for the Shirodhara in hemorrhagic stroke, but not in the early stage. If it is a very mild hemorrhage, with no altered consciousness and no change in the higher mental functions, then you can go for Shirodhara. Or if you say, if the Pitta stage, Samsrishta Pitta association stage passes off, then also you can go for the Mastishka, any variety of Mastishka, that is Shirodhara, Shiropichu or Abhyanga, you can go for in the patient of hemorrhage.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, can we use Nasya in hemorrhagic stroke? If yes, what is the mode of action, ma'am? Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, we can with altered consciousness and all. So we are not going for an awareness. So am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible, ma'am. Earlier, yes.
Yeah. See, once that stage passes off, then you can go for any Navaranasya. See, once that stage of Pitta Samsrishta stage passes off, then you can go for the Navaranasya. If not, Samjna Prabodhananasyas are advised in patients of the hemorrhagic stroke. So, if the patient recovers from the first stage, then the Anutailanasya or any other Yashtimadutailanasya or Kalyanaka Grithanasya, so all these you can practice. And once that Navaranasya is over, then you can advise the patient for the Pratimarshanasya even for months together. If the patient has got the deficit still remaining in the upper limb, a continuous Pratimarshanasya can also be given, even in infarction condition also with the Karpa Sastya Aditailanasya. I have given Sastya.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Is it audible, ma'am?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay. Ma'am, for now, there are no other questions, ma'am. Okay, yes, ma'am. No further questions, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Madhuri Gavi, sir, Professor and Head Department of Postgraduate Studies in Tajikistan, to present your
Hello.
Yes, sir. Namaste. Sir,
Namaste,
namaste.
madam.
Yeah, sir.
Namaste,
Namaste, sir.
namaste, madam.
Yeah, sir. Namaste.
It was a very wonderful session, madam. You have covered really some of the aspects which were not covered in our series. The concept of Ekanga Roga, Sarvanga Roga, we have dealt with very well, and we are very happy to note that the case studies you have presented are really encouraging. It shows your clinical expertise in the management of Sarvanga Roga, and you have rightly noticed, you have rightly pointed out the cervical myelomalacia cases. You have also very clearly explained the line of treatment and some of the few contributory information from you were also really we are acknowledging you like Rudraksha Prayogam. These are all very encouraging information for our delegates. In this webinar series, in the memory of Dr. M. Vishwareddy sir, if we would have missed Dr. Vina's presentation, really it was a lacunae or it was one of the incomplete series, I want to say. Without your talk, this series would have been an incomplete series. In such a way, you have given beautiful narration, clinical, practical demonstration of the cases, various Panchakarma procedures, Bahiparimarjana procedures have been well documented and it is more scientific in neurological assessment. Your in-depth knowledge of Ayurveda as well as modern neurology is really appreciated. Very happy and I congratulate you. And I am also thankful to you on behalf of our principal Dr. Syed Attar Fatima Madam, the administration of the institute, and from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of PG Department of Kachikitsa, Tarnath Government Ayurvedic Medical College, Bellary, we are really thankful to you for your very easy presentation. The presentation was so easily made by you that everybody followed it. Very crystal clear presentation, a very good language, and I'm really thankful to you for your valuable sharing of knowledge, experience, and thank you once again, madam, for
Thank you.
giving us
Thank
an
you, sir.
opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity to share the clinical experience in this forum. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. In future, also, we request you to be associated with us in future whenever we request you.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I take this opportunity to thank you and your principal, sir, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
you.